How y'all doing? So, I just got this right here in the mail. Good Girl chocolate. 4 assorted chocolates. I done only started eating one. Because, I just got to try it, right? Yeah. This one is called Pecan Fudge. Sweet, crunchy fudge with crunchy salted pecan. Y'all know I love a pecan. Baby. And a piece of chocolate. All vegan. This is amazing. Look at the other ones. So these are caramel cake, fudge cupcake, and cashew caramel.
You said you wanted to taste it.
I just was telling you it was good, but wait a minute.
Wait,
I'm telling the people. Huh? I'll take you a little bite. A little bite.
Okay.
She sometimes eat.
Mom, come on.
Let her try it. But y'all, this is look how cute the packaging is, y'all. Look. Ain't that cute? The G got a bang on it. Ain't that a little swoop right there? I believe that's what they're supposed to be. Honey, this is so cute for a little Christmas gift. You're getting beside yourself.
Wait, let me see.
Honey, look how much she...
Mom, I didn't even eat that
Y'all
much.
go ahead. Check out the website. Order you some. This is great stocking stuffers or office gifts. All that stuff during the holidays, honey.
Hello, and welcome to Dope Girl Conversations. I'm your host, Dr. Tedra White, and today we're going to be talking with the phenomenal Dr. Tabatha Carr. Dr. Tabatha is a leading authority in the field of women's health and wellness. She is the founder of Good Girl Chocolate. She's a best-selling author and a talk show co-host for The Blend, a show that has recently been launched on Uplift TV. Good Girl Chocolate is Beyonce's grant recipient and has been featured in the gifting lounge at the Grammys, in select Oscar nominee gift bags, on Good Morning America and USA Today, Forbes, in Food and Wine magazine, and in over 100 other media outlets. Dr. Tabatha, welcome to Dope Girl Conversations, and thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's just talk about kind of like your background. So you were overweight as a teen, and how did that affect you as far as growing up and into your adulthood?
It had a major impact on my life because as a teen, I was a woman size 22. And being 16 years old, being put on blood pressure pills at 16 years old, I remember being called for boob, fatso, and everything you can think of. But I think the one thing that really impacted my life is being put on drugs at 16 and no one there to really intervene and say, okay, why are we putting a 16-year-old on blood pressure pills? So as a result of, not having that in my life, I ended up being on 3 different blood pressure pills at the age of 30. So nothing really changed, even though I knew about food, I knew what was healthy, kind of what was not, because I've always had a passion for healthcare. I majored in pre-med in college. But when you say, how did it impact me? It really affected my self-esteem. So I didn't go into the medical field. After I graduated, with my biology degree and then went on to get a master's in health administration, I didn't go into the healthcare field because I felt like a hypocrite. I felt like a hypocrite because I was overweight, always been overweight, You know, I could never get to the point where I was, you know, healthy, and I just felt like I just didn't have the right, you know, to educate people about health and about wellness, you know, and their lifestyle and what they should be eating, what they
Yeah.
should not be eating, how often they should be exercising. And here I am, 300 pounds.
Yeah. I got you.
No, I couldn't do it. And I just didn't, I had so much self-doubt, you know, in
Yeah.
myself. So yeah, I went into the tech field instead of the healthcare field.
Oh my goodness. So, when you talk about that, you felt like you didn't have the right to do that, like imposter syndrome. Like, how am I going to tell these people, even though you knew all the stuff, you had all the information, it was correct,
Right?
could have definitely given it to them, but I'm sure in your mind, you're thinking they're looking at you like, how can you tell me how to be healthy when I see you and you're not even knowing all the medications you may have been on, but just the visual that you were given as far as just, your weight and stuff. Wow.
Exactly. Exactly. Because I was on a diet every single day of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I started a new diet, of course, every single January.
Okay, I was gonna say mine starts every Monday. I'm gonna do that on Monday.
Too. That, you know what? That too, and that is the worst. I lived my life by that. Okay, I messed up. You know, it's like Tuesday or Wednesday, and
Yeah.
here I am eating a whole pizza, and then I'll say, okay, you know what? I'll just finish out the week eating whatever I want, and then I'll start over on
Monday. Yeah.
Exactly. But you know what I've learned? What I've
Mm-hmm.
learned is it's okay to fall off the wagon. But you know what? You can correct that for dinner. You know,
Absolutely.
if you decide you're going to eat ice cream and cookies and whatever else, then okay, eat a salad for dinner. And that's it. Or heck, do some intermittent fasting and correct it then rather than waiting until Monday. Because you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do the same thing the next week.
Absolutely. I'm a testament. Absolutely. So with your background, is that what propelled you into women's health and studying that? You clearly did a whole turnaround there, and you start losing weight and you're getting healthy, and now your interest peaks and you want to get out of IT and back into women's health. So tell us about that.
Well, first, let me just tell you the struggle is real.
Yes,
Even
Lord.
though I've lost, over 80 pounds, the struggle is it's
congratulations.
Just real. It's hard. Thank you. Every single day, I have to remind myself where I've been, where I've come from, and still that purpose and that mission. But when I was going into 30, when I was on that third blood pressure pill, and the third blood pressure pill was to protect my kidneys from the first blood pressure pill.
Wow.
At 29 and a half, almost 30, I started having panic attacks. I was having panic attacks, bouts of just anxiety. I remember fainting. I ended up in the hospital, and really, nothing major was wrong with me, thank goodness, because everything that was wrong could be corrected with food, with lifestyle, with supplements. So after that, I still didn't change my relationship with food. I kept it up. And then I started having serious hormone problems.
Oh, really?
And yes. And all the women that are close to me, like my mom, aunt, even first cousins, they had hysterectomies before 40.
Oh my gosh.
And that's huge. That's huge because we have so many women having unnecessary hysterectomies. Now, this has been years ago, but for them, they had already had kids. They already had kids. And when they're having problems with their cycle, if the doctor says, hey, let's take everything out, then hey, that's what they did. They went on that recommendation. And for me, starting to have these cycle problems when I was on an ongoing cycle, fibroids, cysts, everything that was just, you can name it, that Black women suffer from, I had it. Blood sugar, blood pressure, fibroids, cysts, the cycle, the prolonged cycle, everything. And
Wow.
so, and going to the doctor, she said, yeah, we can look at having surgery. We can look at putting you on more medication. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do all that. And number one, I haven't had kids,
Yeah.
I might get married and have kids. So
Right.
I don't want that taken away from me. I
Yeah.
don't want that option at least taken away from me. So that was kind of my wake up call, saying, okay, something's got to change. Enough is enough. And that's when I really started studying to see, okay, how can I naturally, how can I correct the fibroid issue? How can I correct the cycle where I, can stop bleeding? I mean, that's what I was doing. It was ongoing.
Wow.
How can I do that naturally without having surgery, without being put on medication? And let me tell you, within 30 days, I fixed the cycle problem. The ongoing cycle stopped. I started taking the right supplements that I needed for my body. And then it was an automatic, it's like the appetite kind of automatically got better. I didn't necessarily have the cravings because here I am taking these natural supplements and I'm balancing hormones. I'm eating better. I'm balancing blood sugar. I'm not having the cravings. So I went on to lose 80 pounds. And people ask me all the time, how long did it take you to lose it? It took a year. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I lost 80 pounds in a month because I didn't.
And we don't want you to lose that much in a month.
Exactly. Right. Because you're real sick if you do. It didn't take 3 months. It didn't take 6 months. It took a year. But you know what? I did it. I didn't wake up in January again trying to figure out which diet I'm going to be on this year. What workout plan I'm going to, start doing in January. I didn't wake up like that for the first time in my life. And it felt so good. My energy has improved, my productivity. I'm happier.
That's awesome. And you know what I hear you saying too, Dr. Tabatha, is you studied, you started taking the supplements and doing what you had to do, not even because you wanted to lose weight. It was because you wanted to get healthier and not have to do so. Your whole mindset changed. And I think that's probably one of the keys that a lot of us are missing, is because, well, on Monday, I'm going to start eating better so I can lose weight. In January, I'm going to start this new diet so I can lose weight. And the mindset is stuck on numbers of weight versus the mindset that you took on, which was a lifestyle, because you wanted to be healthy, to have your children, future children, and you wanted to be healthy so you could stop bleeding to death, basically, not have those surgeries, not get on more medication, and your mindset changed. And I think that was the big key, is what I'm hearing, is that is the big key.
That's right. But I do want to point out is this isn't an overnight thing.
Absolutely.
That mindset change, it is not an overnight thing. Number one, I tell people all the time, hey, this started with prayer.
Yeah.
I needed the full armor of God, to beat something that I had been battling my entire life. Being overweight and not being successful at it is hard. It's burdensome. It makes you depressed. I felt like I just had this load, lifted off of me. But the mindset, the growth, the loving myself, that is a day-to-day healing process.
Yes. Love it. And something that you have to, I always say the voice in your head is the loudest voice that you're going to hear.
Yes.
So, it's, even when you were growing up, you said how the kids would call you names. And, but what you hear is what sticks with you, and you repeat to yourself. And that is hard because I'm sure sometimes some of that stuff comes back, and you have to fight and having to fight that battle again.
Let me tell you, it does come back, but I have to remember what the good book says. Forgiveness, okay? For forgiveness, forget, and move on. But yeah, sometimes that chatter does, it does. It comes in my head. And there are times where, hey, these hormonal imbalances are going on, and I get in that depressed state, from moodiness to anxiety, you name it, especially this year with all that's been going on. There's a lot of us that have been hit hard, with anxiety.
Absolutely. So what was your aha moment, or what was that catalyst that kind of propelled you to start making chocolates, and why chocolates?
It's funny because I go back to the diets, all the different diets that I've been on throughout the years. And years ago, and this was in when was this? I think my early 30s and 20s, somewhere around there. It's been years ago. I decided to go raw.
Oh.
And it wasn't about there wasn't a title vegan or plant-based or anything. It was just raw. Eat whole foods, eat foods that haven't been cooked, where the enzymes have been killed. Just eat natural living foods for your body. And I went raw for a couple months, and I felt good. I felt good. I did lose some weight. But one thing that was missing, because you can't eat meat unless you're going to sit there and eat a raw raw piece of meat. Meat and eggs, all of those things are out. Cooked foods, rice, everything is out. So after eating these raw meals, I wanted something sweet. And I had to figure out how to make raw dessert. So I started making raw chocolate. So I would use raw cacao with the raw organic virgin olive oil and the organic raw cacao, and even raw honey, everything raw, to make these sweet truffles and luscious desserts, and I was molding the chocolate, in my kitchen and putting it in the freezer and just eating chocolate all day long because I couldn't eat anything else cooked.
Are you making up the recipes yourself?
Yeah. Well, first, you go to, Google something like, how do you make raw chocolate? How are people, doing it? What are they using? Where do I start? So I had to start somewhere. So after I started, then I started experimenting with what's good, what's not. And even after I fell off the raw bandwagon because I fell hard off the raw, I continued to make this chocolate. I continued to make it. And one day, just a couple years ago, because I went back to school to study naturopathy, focusing on women's health, I decided, it was time for me to leave the technology company. And I said, I am going to quit, and I'm going to focus on a product and a service. And that product became Good Girl Chocolate.
Good Girl Chocolate.
It became Good Girl Chocolate because when I quit, it didn't have a name quite yet.
Okay. How long have you been in business with doing Good Girl Chocolate?
With my very first sale was in 2018. So my very first sale was 2 years ago. I opened up a small kiosk here in Oklahoma in my local mall.
That is awesome. So in just 2 years, you have playing with different recipes and ingredients from your kitchen to having this fantastic products that have been in goodie bags for the Oscars, for the Grammys, and we're going to get into it, but you've been featured in all of these high profile events, and even won Beyonce's Be Good grant for small businesses. But let's go back to all of these high profile events you've been able to have your chocolates in. So give us the scoop. Which one has been your favorite one?
First of all, I just want to say it's a blessing. And I thank God. I give honor to where honor is due.
Amen.
This has been my prayer. God, use me. How do you want to use me? How do I, bring this into the world? And he has just opened up door after door after door after door. Because look, I'm this little country girl that was born in Georgia and grew up, raised in a small town in Oklahoma. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he has just opened up doors just through people, just meeting people, like meeting you today. One of my friends said, hey, I know someone that you should talk to. And I said, okay, so I'm always willing to talk to people. And little did I know he was over the Grammys gifting suite. I had no idea who I was talking to. I was just being friendly, talking to someone that I thought could just help me kind of navigate this whole entrepreneurship thing and bringing a product to market, because he had a product. So that's why I started talking to him. And then he told me about the Grammys, and he said, hey, send me some chocolate. And it's funny because he said, I've never been like a healthy chocolate eater. If I'm going to eat chocolate, I'm going to eat chocolate. So he said, send me some of your chocolate. So I did. And I get a phone call from him as soon as it was delivered. He said, this chocolate is fabulous. He says, I like you. I like your energy. And I want you and your chocolate here in the Grammys Talent Suite this year. And I was like, yes. So that's how that happened.
That is amazing. And quick, and that's one of the things I love about even with Dope Girl Conversations, is because you never know, when you're conversing with someone, how those connections can be made. So, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Quick turnaround. So which one of those high profile events that you've attended, I've seen you on a lot of the news shows that you've been kind of, featured, your chocolates have been featured on. Good Morning America, you were on a couple of the other kind of like entertainment pieces or segments in some news places. Which one has been your favorite? Being at the Oscars, being at the Grammys, those shows? Which one?
The Grammys Talent Lounge was my favorite, because for the Oscars, and we were in select Oscar nominee gift bags through Distinctive Assets. So I didn't have the face-to-face with them. So I would definitely say the Grammys. It was such an amazing experience. And I love just watching people try my chocolate, because we had chocolate like right there, and just looking at people and their look and their first reaction when they take a bite in your chocolate. Yolanda Adams was my favorite, of course. She tasted the chocolate, and there's a video on my Instagram page with her tasting the chocolate.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Mr.
I give a hug.
Yes,
Thank you. What a blessing you are to my spirit and my soul, and I am just happy to meet you.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Well, I am the owner of Good Girl Chocolate.
Okay.
I created this chocolate because when I was 16 years old, I was put on my first blood pressure pill. At the age of 30, I was on 3 different blood pressure pills, and the third one was to protect my kidneys from the first one. I suffered from depression and anxiety. I went on to have hormonal problems with blood sugar, and I was almost 300 pounds. And the doctor said it's time for you to lose weight. So I lost weight. I got healthy. I have a before and after picture. That's my before, and that's not even my biggest. I was actually bigger than that. But I created Good Girl Chocolate because I'm a foodie. I love foodie. I love chocolate.
Me too.
And I wanted to be able to enjoy chocolate every single day and still say that I've been good.
Okay.
So this chocolate is 75% dark. It's dairy free. It is gluten free. It's low glycemic, so it's not going to spike your blood sugar like other chocolate. And we'll put on the glove and I'll.
Okay, yes.
But
That's why I didn't put my hand in it.
I do have a box for you as well.
Okay.
But it's single origin, which means I get to pick which country it comes from. So this is Ecuador. This comes from a little farm in Ecuador. It's fair trade. So the workers are treated fairly as well. So this is my signature caramel, and it is absolutely divine. I know you will love it. It's kid approved. It's kid approved. And that caramel, see, my chocolate doesn't have high fructose corn syrup. So it's organic cashew butter, organic coconut oil, and raw agave. That's it. 3 ingredients. It doesn't have all the junk in it. Yes. And that's what I like to hear.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So that's the caramel cake that you're eating now. These are the others.
And the fudge is delicious. And you do have fudge in your pack.
Okay,
you have
good.
fudge in your box.
So that would be my favorite. Pecan anything.
Me too. I love pecans. So let me grab yours.
Oh, thank you. So good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I love food. I love chocolate. And you know what? It can taste good and still be healthy.
Yes, it can.
It can still be
Don't we say that all the time? We say that all the time on Wellness Wednesday.
That's right. Well, I specialize in women's health now, so I'm teaching women and educating women how to look better, feel better, manage their hormones, manage their weight, and just thrive in life. So,
You heard it. She's telling you what I tell you every day. Take care of you.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Self-care. It's all about self-care.
This is so good.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm so glad you like it.
Okay, let's take a picture.
Yes, ma'am. Let me take this glove
Wait a
off.
minute. Wait.
Toss it over there.
I'm savoring every moment.
Oh, we don't mind you eating it while we take the picture.
Here we go. This one really are. You want more? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, this is so good.
I'm going to put a card in here.
Those moments are just, they're priceless. They're priceless.
Oh, wow.
A funny story. I don't have a picture with her. Cardi B, she had just finished rehearsing for her performance, and she came into the suite. And the first thing she said when she got to my table is she said, "I only eat milk chocolate." And at the time, I was only producing dark chocolate, and it was 70% dark because, well, this is a health thing, right?
Right.
This isn't about a whole bunch of sugar being loaded in chocolate. This is better for you. This is non-GMO. This is no hydrogenated oils. This is no food dyes. This is the real deal. So, I explained to her, why I didn't have the milk chocolate. And she says, okay. And she tried it and she liked it. She liked it.
Wow.
But I learned something from her. I learned that, you know what? I need to make milk chocolate. And honestly, it was because of Cardi B coming up to my table and saying, I only eat milk chocolate. That is what led me to start making a dairy-free, plant-based milk chocolate.
Milk chocolate. So the variety that you have, the dark chocolates, the milk chocolates, I saw that you had some with different nuts and a bunch of it. What are some of the varieties that you have?
So we have the signature caramel, and which is the one that I had at the Grammys Talent Suite. We have that one, but we have all of these bar flavors. So for people who are, because again, we're all on our healthy lifestyle plan. So people who are keto, I have a keto bar, and that's sweetened
Okay.
with organic xylitol. All of the rest of the chocolate is sweetened with organic coconut sugar. So I have the dark, I have the semi-sweet, I have something called brownie batter, which actually tastes like you're licking the bowl from the brownie. That
Oh
has
my
a little
gosh.
bit more sugar in it for my,
Mhm.
my sweet people who like sugar, but it's still the organic coconut sugar. So it's still a
Mhm.
low glycemic sugar, and it doesn't have the soy lecithin in it. It doesn't have any of the fillers in it. It's all
Mhm.
natural. It's dairy free to support those who are intolerant to dairy. It's
Mhm.
gluten free to support those who are intolerant to gluten. It's soy free to support those who are intolerant to soy.
Mhm.
Of course, it supports the vegan plant-based lifestyle. There's no honey or anything like that used. It's not used on animals, doesn't have any animal products in it. So we have something for everyone. We
For
are literally
everyone.
that one stop shop for everyone. I tell everyone the only people who might want to, be cautious eating good girl chocolate are the people who can't have nuts. Because
Okay.
in order to make the caramel, instead of using
Mhm.
butter and sugar, we use nut butter.
Okay.
And nut
Yeah.
butter is loaded in healthy fat, is loaded in good fats. But there are a select few who just can't have nuts.
Yeah. But for
Yeah,
everybody else, you've made it okay to eat chocolate and be a good girl while you're doing it.
exactly right. You can eat it every single day and still say you've been good.
You've
Hence
been
the name
good.
Good Girl Chocolate.
I love it. Now, I mentioned before that you also are the recipient of Beyonce's Be Good Impact Fund that she has with the NAACP. I think it was in partnership with that. And you were awarded this grant. How was that process like? And what are you planning on doing with that as far as building up Good Girl Chocolate even more?
Let me tell you, that was the highlight of my year. And this just happened a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
So,
really?
oh yeah, this was like my Thanksgiving, my Christmas, my New Year's, my birthday,
Okay.
yeah, everything into it. This was just the highlight of
Awesome.
2020. I'm just so fortunate, grateful, blessed to have received this, because from what I hear, there were like 17,000 applicants. So to be one of them is a true, true blessing.
Yes.
And, I saw it out there. I saw the application. I said, I'm going to go apply. I did. I applied. I submitted a video. We had to do a video. I think my video ended up being around 2.5 minutes long. You don't want to make it too long.
Right.
And I talked about what you and I are talking about. I was
Yeah.
just being my true self, why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I created the chocolate. And as far as what it's going to be used for, it's going to be used for growth, because right now,
Mhm.
Black entrepreneurs receive less than 1%
Yeah.
of venture capitalist funding. Now
Yeah.
there's funding out there, but when it comes to these large venture capitalists, we receive less than 1%. And that is a problem. It's a problem. It's
Yeah.
sad. It
That's
doesn't
very
make any
sad.
sense. It's not right. I can go on and on and on and on.
And
So
I
I
agree.
commend her. I
Mhm.
commend the NAACP for doing this to support Black businesses, because we are the ones that are struggling. It's
Yeah.
Black businesses that are closing. So this is helping us, number one, to stay afloat. It's helping us with equipment. There are people that I want to hire, and it
Mhm.
start to hire when you don't have the capital, if you don't
Absolutely.
have the money. I was talking about the culinary school that we have here in Oklahoma City that
Mhm.
has a program for students with disabilities.
Mhm.
I want to look to hire folks here you know,
That
and
would be
and
amazing.
support my community. But we
Yeah.
can't do it without money. So
Yeah.
of course, starting my business, I've bootstrap. That means taking your own savings, taking your own money and just doing it and
Oh,
going yourself.
I understand. Yeah.
And that's what we've done. But when it comes to massive growth and massive expansion, you have to have money. You have to have the capital in order to do that.
Absolutely. And you're going to need it, because after your chocolates have been out there, and I'm sure, and I'm going to be saying prayers for you that
Thank you.
you're going to get the notoriety that you need to get. It's going to be featured on Oprah's favorite things.
Yes, we're claiming that. In the name of the
Okay.
Father, Son, we
And
are
the Holy Ghost.
and
Yes.
the Holy Ghost. That's right. We're claiming it.
Yes. And I'm going to stand in agreement with you on that one. And so, and I tell people all the time, we have to be there to support each other, and for her organization or her foundation, along with the NAACP, to do that. Hey, we all we have at this point. You're not going to get that money from them. So I applaud her as well, and the NAACP, and I applaud you for stepping out and actually applying for it, and you know what, and following and being obedient to what God has birthed inside of you. One of the hardest things for people to do in general, but especially when we're talking about Black women and all of the hurdles that we already have to try and cross over, to have someone like yourself who says, you know what, I got this good job in this technical company, but I'm about to quit this job and I'm about to go and do what God has purposed in my heart and in my soul to do. I applaud you for that, because now you become a living testimony and a living example for other Black and brown girls and women to follow. And I just think that's so dope. I do. I just think that is so dope. And I just want to let you know that we see you and we appreciate you for that. And it means much more than you'll even know. Even through your struggles, even through your successes, people are watching you, and we see that. And I just want to say thank you for that. What advice would you give our listeners who are, interested maybe in starting their own businesses, but they're like, oh, girl, she quit her job. I got bills to pay. I cannot just go quit my job. What would be your advice to people?
That's smart. That thinking of, I just cannot quit my job, because you want to make sure you are setting yourself up for success.
Yeah.
Make sure you're setting yourself up for success. We are going to, fail along the way, but that's okay. That's okay. We learn from those failures, but make sure you're setting yourself up for success. But when you do that, when you do make that jump and make that transition, don't give up. Don't give up, because I don't know how many times I had thought, okay, I'm going back to work. That first year, it crossed my mind so many times. And I'm just being real, because, you think about, man, that was a 6-figure job. All I did was wake up and do 8 to 5, and I worked hard. Now, don't get me wrong. Okay. I was good at my job. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, I didn't have to worry about this. I didn't have to worry about that. I just do my job. Boom, I'm done.
Yeah.
And now you are running a business. You are the provider, and you have to make your own living. And that's real. That's real. That's hard. And it's true what they say. Hey, once you are working for yourself, it doesn't feel like a job. And that is very true. You don't understand that until you're actually living it and
Yeah.
doing it. So it's easy for me to be working at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, when I was working for somebody else, it wasn't that easy. Okay. Putting in overtime wasn't that easy.
Right.
But now it's like I'm constantly working, but I don't mind it. It's like, it's what I do.
It's who you are.
What I do. It's who I am.
Yeah.
It's who I am, and it's what I do. So my advice is stay the course. Don't give up. Keep going. Keep pushing. Because hey, the road might not be easy, but let me tell you, that reward,
It's everything.
it is so rewarding. Oh
I
yeah.
love it.
It's it's everything. It's everything. And now I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't go back.
So what's next for Dr. Tabatha and Good Girl Chocolate?
Growth. You know what? You already said it. Oprah's favorite things.
Oh,
That's what's next.
I'm claiming that for you. Yeah.
That
I'm
is
speaking
what
that into
is
existence.
next. Yes. Well, we are coming out with some new chocolates and some new flavors. So we are going to kick in 2021, and everybody is going to know about Good Girl Chocolate.
That is awesome. How can we order? How can our listeners, how can we get in there and see what you have and place those orders?
Goodgirlchocolate.com, goodgirlchocolate.com. Even if you don't order anything, if you go to goodgirlchocolate.com, there's like a newsletter thing you can sign up for, or a spin the wheel game you can play for coupons. And then we'll make sure we have your email, and we'll message you when we have, things coming up, or new chocolate coming out, or even sales or promotions coming up. But go to goodgirlchocolate.com.
Goodgirlchocolate.com.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Tabatha, for having this conversation with me today. I appreciate it. I'm sure our listeners will gain so much from you and the gems you were dropping on us with entrepreneurship, about mindset, and all of those things. I appreciate you and what you do.
Yeah, well, thank you. And thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity. I think what you're doing is great. Dope Girl Conversations. I love it.
Thank you. From one dope girl to another. Thank you so much.